Fighter's like, you. That was
go for it. Go on,
yeah, you go for it. You go for it. You go for it.
The procedure will be parliamentary.
Hello. What's going on YouTube? Arm Planet Talks Boxing here. I want to talk about the ways Conor, the destroyer Benn, can beat Chris, Eubank Jr., Chris, next gen, Eubank Jr. My first point is Conor Benn can exploit defensive flaws in Eubank's style. Sure, Chris Eubank Jr., he's physically gifted, he's athletic, not as athletic as he used to be. I think he was athletic 5. I mean, he lost his athleticism, but I'd probably reckon since he changed styles, his volumes went down. But in return, he has become a better boxer technically, in my opinion, because he still has, just habits that he's done, when he had his original style. His jabs improved greatly. But that's besides the point. We'll talk about ways Conor Benn can beat Chris Eubank Jr. And like I said, his defensive flaws. So, for example, the Eubank Jr. vs Liam Smith fight in round 4. When Smith was pressing forward, Eubank tried leaning back to evade, but he does not try to pivot off an ankle or use a high guard. He gets caught by a clean left hook and an uppercut sequence. Now, what happened after? He was stunned because his hands weren't protecting his chin. Nor was using his feet to get out the line of fire to create a new ankle. And I'll show you right now. As you can see in that clip, he tried dipping and diving, rolling under to evade Liam Smith's shots, but that came to no avail. If Benn can get Eubank against the ropes exactly how Liam Smith did, then Benn can definitely get some shots off like how Liam Smith did, in much more faster, sharper and more explosive fashion. Another way is by capitalizing on Chris Eubank Jr.'s pullback, as I'm going to show you here when he fought Kamil Zerameta. Zerameta jumped in with a jab, whilst Eubank pulled back. This defense from Chris Eubank Jr. is quite leaky, as if he does this against Conor Benn, you can expect Conor Benn to come in forward with a jab, then possibly throw a 2 afterwards, or even throw a long left hook. Yes, it's hard for me to show anything for Conor Benn to capitalize on that, but if we was to imagine Chris Algieri pulling back, which he's a pretty conventional orthodox fighter. He was a bit more flashy when he was in his prime, but pretty much the way he was boxing there, despite being worn out, Chris Algieri was a pretty decent boxer, winning the 140-pound WBO title in June 14th, 2014. But this isn't the Chris Algieri show. This is how Conor Benn could capitalize on Eubank's flaws in order to beat him. Now, another thing. Conor Benn timed Eubank's jab for an overhand. In the first fight with Liam Smith and Eubank, Liam Smith was timing the right overhand, which his was much more textbook, so it's probably much more clean and much more easy to land in comparison to Conor, who will put extra step into his overhand. But showing this clip right now, of course, it's easier said than done, especially if Conor Benn does have the power of Liam Smith. But we got to factor in that Chris Eubank Jr. is under a 10 pounds rehydration clause. We do not know if Conor Benn is under any substances for his power to look as freaky as it did against Samuel Vargas, Van Herdem, and Chris Algieri. Now, since I mentioned the 10 pounds rehydration clause, I think another key will be slowing down Eubank via body shots, especially with the 10 pound rehydration clause. We've seen fighters like Frank Martin, Ryan Garcia, The body cannot sustain the punishment as compared to when they are fully hydrated. I think this is a key area where Conor Benn could exploit the hydration clause of Eubank and go down to hammer the body. But like I said, it's easier said than done. We don't know if Conor Benn's power will affect Chris Eubank Jr.'s, or if the £10 rehydration clause will affect Chris Eubank Jr. severely. Two more reasons, and I'm going to summarize this, is if Benn goes in early, you know, he goes pedal to the metal. He unleashes ferocious looks at Chris Eubank Jr. early, like how Liam Smith did to Chris Eubank in round 3. He comes out guns blazing. Of course, fighters are technically at their most sharp in the first round, but some fighters have to settle in, and Chris Eubank Jr. is one of them where he has to settle into the fight, in my opinion, in order to chance a victory. Shown in the Billy Joe Saunders fight, when he picked up midway through round 5 was when it looked like the card was going to change, but unfortunately Billy Joe Saunders was the better boxer for Chris Eubank Jr. on that night. And also for Chris Eubank Jr. versus Meta and even Liam Smith the second time. Granted, Chris Eubank Jr. switched on when he hit Liam Smith the uppercut, which he dropped him with. If I've been honest with you guys, this video is very hard to make. Maybe because it's like I've already covered. It's more so about talk about Chris Eubank's weaknesses rather than talking about what Conor Benn's strengths could be. You know, I think honestly, this ultimately just depends on if the rehydration clause is going to affect Chris Eubank Jr. or if he's going to, of course, abide by it, adhere to it. And secondly, is if Conor Benn's powers, you know, anything noteworthy at 160, well, especially against Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, I'm only making this video just because, like I said yesterday, I wanted to make a video on the alternatives for Chris Eubank to lose or Conor Benn to beat Chris Eubank, but it's very hard, especially in my video yesterday. I pretty much made my pick, and I still will go with Chris Eubank Jr. The only way I can see him losing is literally if the rehydration clause comes into effect on the night, unless Conor Benn shows superior boxing, which he's more athletic as of right now, but that's because Chris Eubank Jr.'s age, and also he's more laid back in his approach. It doesn't throw as many shots as he used to. Yeah, man, it's just really a hard one, isn't it? Because for me to talk about Conor Benn, where was succeeding, it's more so about Chris Eubank Jr.'s faults, and showing someone like Liam Smith or Billy Joe Saunders or George Groves, Conor Benn's not them. He may not be able to capitalize it in their ways. Do you know what I mean? So, but I've gave my my 2 cents, and I gave my reasonings for how Conor Benn could possibly beat Chris Eubank Jr. Sorry if this one doesn't seem really not in depth, but doesn't seem as analytical as yesterday's one. But I'm trying my best, so appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Just Joe, the band director. I got a brand new saxophone.